You're listening to the Valley Labor Report with David Story and Jacob Morrison.
That's a good segue into what you were wanting to talk about next, which is the importance of labor councils and the labor movement and how important it is for unions to be active in the labor councils. Can you talk to us some about that?
Oh, absolutely. So, labor councils throughout the country, we have 5 in Tennessee. There are several in Alabama, I believe 4 or 5.
I think there are 7, aren't there, David? I think there are 7. I think there are 7 labor councils in Alabama, aren't there?
I don't know.
Yeah, but that's the place where all of the unions in the area get to work outside of their craft, or whether they're industrial unions around just building worker power generally. Mm-hmm. And they work not only with each other, but community organizations. And that's really the path forward for building, a more worker friendly. Most of us are workers. Matter of fact, 99% of us are workers, right? And so really we are the organizations, the hubs of activity for where building worker power should, could, and is happening.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, I agree with that, and I think it's so important to build up those bonds of solidarity and the connections across industry. We can get so siloed in our own workplaces and in our own local unions, and we kind of forget about the struggles of other folks in other unions and how important we are to one another, and how we're, as workers, like, we're all that we've got. The boss ain't going to come to our help on any of these issues, and certainly the Chamber of Commerce and organizations like that, they're fighting for exactly the opposite of what is going to help working people. And so it's important to really recognize the struggles that folks in other unions are facing, and try to come to each other's aid. So some of the things that we've done in North Alabama with the reorganization of our labor council, it's been defunct for about 20 years up here in North Alabama. And so we've recently reorganized it within the past year, and we're and already we've held a rally, Labor for Black Lives rally. We have scheduled advocacy meetings with our senators up in D.C. on all of the unions on behalf of some specific unions. Like, all of us went to lobby on behalf of the postal workers and the stagehands back when the stagehands were all completely out of work and the Postal Service bailout was up for consideration. And we've talked to city councilors about some safety issues that the stagehands have had. And so, it's important, even though I'm not a stagehand, that I look out for the stagehands and vice versa. We're going to talk about that on the other side. Stay tuned.
You got the principal J-Rig at it up. You got the first at it up. You got the principal J-Rig at it up. You got the
All right, folks, welcome back to the Valley Labor Report. My name is Jacob Morrison, here with my co-host David Story. On the line, we've got Vonda McDaniel. She's the president of the Nashville Labor Council, a member of the Steelworkers Local 1055 up there in Tennessee. Vonda, when we left off, I was talking about some of the things that we've done here in North Alabama, some advocacy. And the last thing that I mentioned was that we have talked to city councilors, the whole labor council, on behalf of the stagehands who've been having some safety issues, and those were able to actually get resolved very quickly. I had the person that I talk to most regularly in the stagehands, he texted me a few months after we had that meeting, and he was like, it was almost immediately that after we had that meeting, the safety improved just like overnight. That's kind of and that's what we want to do. Like I said, even though I'm not a stagehand, like, the stagehands they're my sisters and brothers, and I want to make sure that I look out for them, and I know that they're going to have my back if something happens with the federal government. I'm a federal employee, and there's some big issues there. I know that these folks are going to be here to advocate on my behalf when I'm up against a wall. And the same with the machinists. One of the things that the trade unions are the thing that they really want to try to get out of the Labor Council is, here in Madison County, there's a lot of new building, and so they want to make sure that they are kind of, that they're aware of new projects that are going up, and that the people who are going to be awarding those contracts, the county commissioners, the city councilors, they know that, hey, you've got trade unions in your area that are going to do better work, that are going to be safer, and that are going to, be able to provide good paying union jobs to workers in your area. And so, there's just so much benefit that you can get out of labor councils. What are some of the things that the Labor Council in Nashville has been doing? Some of the projects y'all have up there?
So we have been working on quite a few things in the midst of the pandemic. Of course, our work has changed. One of the most exciting things that we have been working on recently is with non-union workers, believe it or not. Nashville is a city where hospitality is one of the engines that drives the economy. We have a large restaurant and hotel workers, and they have been organizing. So we have new organizing activity that the Labor Council has been able to support. They've started their own organization called Rock Music City. And actually in two restaurants, they had wage theft cases that were recently resolved this week, where they won over $1 million in stolen wages for workers. So that's one of the pieces. You talked about supporting apprenticeship programs and the crafts. The Central Labor Council works with the building trades, and we do apprenticeship readiness program where we're out in the community talking about apprenticeship programs, recruiting women and Black and brown workers, veterans, to look at opportunities in the trades. In addition to supporting the campaigns and efforts of our union affiliates. So yeah, we're pretty busy both politically and in doing what is exciting new organizing.
Mm-hmm. That's and you mentioned that about the education that goes along with the trades, or trying to educate the community about the opportunities that they've got to join trades, even if they don't have college educations and stuff like that. And that's so important because there are so many people that they literally, they don't have any idea. They know what the trades are, but they reckon that they've got to go to some podunk local contractor who ain't going to pay them nothing, who don't have good benefits, that they've got to work in these unsafe conditions, and they don't know that there are trade unions that they can join and have good pay, good benefits, a good retirement, a pension, health care, 100%. The electrical workers here in the area, they've got 100% employer-sponsored health care, no premiums, no deductibles, none of that. That's right. I mean, that's unheard of in any, in other trades, and even in most other union workplaces. But the trade unions, they've got they've got really good benefits packages, and there's just no awareness of that. And I know a fella who is he's doing an apprenticeship program with like I said, some podunk local contractor. He ain't got no benefits, he makes significantly less than he would as an apprentice in the trades. And I told him about it, and he was like, well, I'm already a part of this, and so I don't want to blah 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 blah. It's but if he had known about it before he had taken that that apprenticeship, he would have had, he probably would have. And so that's one of the things that we would really like to do, is go into the local schools, on career days and things like that, and really and have an opportunity to talk to the students in high school about, not only do You don't have to go to college to get a good job. You don't have to work for some podunk local contractor. You can have like good pay and good benefits and a safe working environment right out of high school. And even if you go to college, you can be in a union workplace after you get out of college. And like me, I'm a quote unquote kind of professional employee, but I've got a union in my workplace. And so do y'all do stuff like that with local schools or anything to educate the folks coming out of high school about the opportunities they've got to go into the trades?
So we do participate in local career fairs. We work with guidance counselors in schools. Many of our trades, the training coordinators do the same. But yeah, any opportunity that we have to talk about what we believe are good paying, family supporting jobs with the best training, which makes them more safe. We take that opportunity and get out in the community as much as possible. We really are trying to raise the visibility of the union movement in our area, which is not just Nashville, but all of the collar counties around Nashville, to make sure that folks know that there's a union movement here that's doing good work.
Right. And that's so important, and that's what we try to do with the council and with this show, because there's just such a dearth of information. Like, people just don't know the opportunities that they've got, and so really just getting this information out there, I think, can be so powerful, because there's such a lack of it, and not without reason, of course. The bosses don't want you to know about the power that you can have in a union. That's for sure.
But that's interesting that you say that, Jacob, because where there are union workforces, there are studies that show that they are more stable, highly trained workforces. You don't have the kind of turnover. Right. And so really, if the bosses were not so concerned with making sure that CEO pay was more than worker pay by 794 times, then in many cases, it would be of business value to them. Right. To have a union workforce in place. It's all about greed, really. Yeah, greed and power. Those are the two things. Because even if there are some cases like Medicare for all, for example, would be, as far as the bottom line for businesses, that would be a huge boon. It would save businesses tons of money to not have to worry about paying for their employees' health care. But they don't want Medicare for all. And why is that? Because they like the power that them being the ones to give their employees health care. They like the power that gives to them. So when workers go on strike, they not only lose their pay, they lose their health care. If they didn't lose their health care, that would be one less thing that workers would have to bargain for, one less thing that would be keeping workers in unsafe working conditions. And so, not only, like you say, that's exactly right about the greed, about wanting to make sure that CEOs can make 700 times more than the median worker, but they also want to make sure that they've got that power over workers, so that workers don't get too uppity. If you want to see what we're up to throughout the week, get our snide quips about the news of the day, then you should follow us on social media. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/The Valley Labor Report. We're on Twitter at Labor Reporters. I'm on Twitter at JacobM_AL. David is on Twitter at Radical Unionist. That's spelled RADICL Unionist. If you missed part of the show and want to go back and watch it later, you can search YouTube for The Valley Labor Report and subscribe to our channel. You can go back and watch the full show there, and we also clip the show. We clip segments and release them throughout the week, so if you just want to see us talk about one topic, we've got a whole back catalog of stuff on YouTube. We also upload the program on more than 11 different podcasting apps, so to see if we are on your listening platform of choice, you can go to thevalleylaborreport.transistor.fm/subscribe. We've got a website now where you can buy our fantastic union-made hats. That is thevalleylaborreport.org.
They're great. I love them. You should get one. And finally, if you appreciate our work and want to help us stay on the air, consider throwing us a couple dollars a month on patreon.com/The Valley Labor Report. Oh, and one more thing about the hats. We've got them in now. We've been waiting for them to come in. We bought like 100 of them. So we've got them. David brought them today in his car. And so probably today I'll be for folks that order right now today or have already ordered, I'm probably going to try to go by the post office today and go ahead and get them out just because I know that there's a lot of folks that have been waiting a really long time. So we want to make sure that we get those out as soon as possible. So if you've ordered one before or you order one today, you can expect those in the mail pretty soon.